Hello family, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching your video from. This is Mercy Molly, yet with another video. We are talking about relationships. Yeah, no matter what kind of a relationship, family, friend, siblings, children, and all that, even your own things. We are talking about relationships. You're most welcome here. Kindly, if you are new here, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Kindly just subscribe. It will not cost you anything when you subscribe. Just hit that notification bell and you'll be the first person to receive the video when I upload a new one. You're most welcome. Now, today we are talking about I feel that I should just say being the big man, or coming up with the solution yourself. Now, sometimes as people, by the grace of God, we might end up growing, because we are not going to stay where we have ever been. We are not going to remain the way people knew us. We are not going to be the same as we were yesterday. God must help us to grow. And when you start something, what you expect to do is just to grow. And you expand, you extend, because even when you are praying, we want God to increase us, to expand us by the grace, to expand the grace, to expand, to extend and expand our property, the grace, even in every aspect of life, spiritually, morally, socially, and all that. We want God to expand us, want God to increase us, even when you are praying every morning. And it can really be discouraging living a life without an increase, living a life without elevation. You're just where you were yesterday. I personally normally say I do not want people to find me where they found me yesterday. I must have something new that at least I am going to be identified with, because you might have someone, or it can also be very dangerous when people find you in a lower level than where they found you. When they find you tomorrow, they find you in a lower level. That no, we just want to move high and high. Now, there's a story here I want us to talk about. We are talking about relationships, and I said we must, when we are living, we cannot just live like an island. We must relate. We must come together as one, and we must complement one another. Let me say that a relationship can be good or even bad. Remember, there's a time we talked about a tree that does not bear good fruits. That can be a relationship that does not augur well, that does not bring any benefit, or it does not bring good fruits, right? Now, we are talking about relationships here. There's a story about Abraham and Lot. I know we know the story of Abraham, that the father of faith, a man with great faith, and a man who was really used of God. Now, and he had a nephew by the name Lot. Lot was son to Abraham's brother, so he was Abraham's nephew. And it came a time, I want us to read verse 3. What does it know too? It came a time, they are there now, they are staying together, right? Now it says, Abraham was a very rich man with sheep, goats, and cattle, as well as silver and gold. Look at that. He was a real rich man. Somebody, and when something is identified by the Bible, you should know that it is extraordinary. The guy was just rich with a lot. All right. Now, let us now look at verse 5 now. We have said that we are talking about Abraham and Lot, and we have started. What is there? Abraham is very rich with a lot of cattle, a lot of silver, even gold. He had a lot. Let us look at 5. Lot also had sheep, goats, and cattle, as well as his family and servants. Look, Abraham has a lot, Lot also has a lot. And they are relatives, close relatives. These two, the Bible is identifying them as people with things. And these are things that can be talked about. We have things, yes. And I'm not saying, okay, let me just say this. We have things, but there are things that they are there and they cannot even be seen. They cannot even be identified. We cannot even talk about them. These are things that can really be talked about. We are told Abraham had a lot. Lot had a lot. Let us look at 6. And so there was not enough pasture land for the two of them to stay together because they had too many animals. Look at this. They were staying together, yes. But as they stayed together, both of them became very rich. Very rich. Do you know, as a family, we can be staying together in one compound. But God now, let us take it positively, kindly. But now God blesses us so much. I am blessed in my own way. My brother or my sister is also blessed in my own way. What are we supposed to do? Both of us are blessed. I have my own things. My sister, my brother has his or our own things. My neighbor has, they have their own things. In the community, people have their own things. In my place of work, I am blessed in a certain way. I am graced, or maybe I become so much experienced that now I need to be promoted. But there are others who are just like me there. In the community, there are others who are also as blessed as I am. In the family, there are people who are as blessed as I am. There are people who are as blessed as you are. All of us, we are blessed. But we are staying together. Let us take this positively. These two are staying together. But the Bible says that they were both blessed. Do you know we can start something, or even with a friend, and we start something. For example, we start a company. And then maybe one of us was a bit, look, I want us to mark this. They are saying, the Bible says, and so Lot also had sheep. But with Abraham, the Bible says Abraham was a very rich man. So with riches, Abraham is identified with that. Very rich man. But we are told also that Lot had his own things. Now, one of them here is above the other. Because there's one who has so many descriptions, right? Now, you find that Abraham is above Lot. But then we come together now as friends. We come together now as relatives. And then we start a company. Let me just give an example here. Maybe I'm with my sister, with my brother, or even with my children. And we start a company. And then we start working in that company. And then God blesses us that it expands and it extends. And it is lifted. Right? We are blessed and we are in the same company together, or even in our community. We start something and then it really goes on so well. And one of us maybe has a high authority. One of us is also older than the others. One of us is also wiser. Yeah. One of us is also maybe more intelligent. But the fact is, we are blessed and we have been extended. We have properties. Now, both of them, yet they are staying together. Look at what is going to happen here. Let me tell you, when the grace is too much and the grace comes in between the two people, or even between relatives, or even among relatives, among the people that you're staying together with, and the grace becomes too much. And then you find that levels are almost like coming together. They are coming almost the same way. What is the result of all this? Look at this. You have started a company, and maybe when I was starting the company together with you, I was nowhere. You could be the one who is so much known. Abraham was the richest. That is compared now to Lot. You could be the one who is really known, and then it happens that when we start a company together with you, it happens that I'm also known, because now I'm also elevated in a way. Maybe you have helped me, you have elevated me, and I also become, the grace becomes more as almost like yours, right? Of which, of course, it cannot be like yours, because there is no way Lot would have been richer than Lot, of course, because, of course, Lot was younger than Abraham, though young people can also be richer than older people. But when you look at the Bible, it says that Abraham was very rich. Then the Bible says also, then what happens? Let us go to 7. We are told that there was not enough pasture for them because they had too many animals. So the place now became small. The platform now became small. Wherever they were, the space, let me say the space became small. We are both, or we are in the community good at so many things until now there is no one to supply the other. It now becomes small. We become good at, let me give an example. I start a business. Maybe I'm cooking, I start an hotel. A friend of mine now starts another hotel. Another friend starts an hotel. And all of us, not both, all of us in the community, we are cooking so well. Now, and the grace is almost at the same level. Now the space becomes small because the customers are few. And we all need to get these customers to buy the food from us so that we may earn something. Now, it then becomes a problem because the space now has become too small. Spaces become small where God is extending people, where there are blessings. And we just need to be wise. There must be the big man in that space. There must be someone. And of course, when God expands, God will expand us in so many ways, even wisdom-wise. Will make us wise. And we shall see and learn this space is becoming small. And when the space becomes small, insecurity now starts. Let us go to we are still on chapter 13. Genesis 13 now. Verse 7 says, so quarrels broke out between the men who took care of Abraham's animals and those who took care of Lot's animals. Quarrels arose. Do you know quarrels must arise between the people who are supporting me and the people who are supporting the other person that we are working together with? Let's say it is in our workplace. And I am so graced, and someone else is also graced, and there's a lot. Now, the place might become small because I want to be seen serving in that place. And the other person wants to be seen also serving and wants to be seen serving better than I do. So, definitely the place now will become small. So, my supporters and the other person's supporters will start fighting. Quarrels will arise. And that is what happens. Let us take a scenario where we are in a family, where it is a family, and then this family now, we are staying together with the family. We are as a family now, the siblings. There are some places where they have a building that they stay together in, not building, in the same compound. Some families, and it becomes a bigger family, so they stay together. What happens when the space now, I start having children, the other person, my siblings start having children, we start having animals, we start having our own property, the place will definitely look and will definitely become small.